remember when we had that conversation about like ideas are just like energy, and
yeah.
it
Big
just kind
magic,
of
black magic. There's a
it just
book.
comes in and then it goes. Like if you're not ready for it, it'll just go to the next person or whatever. I do believe in that because for me, when I make music, it's such a like I don't even. Sometimes it's hard for me to kind of describe my process, just because like some days it will just come very easily, and then some days I would like try to force myself to like make something, but then nothing comes.
Right.
And then like even me looking back at my old work too, like all the songs that I've made, like how did I make that?
Right.
Like why was that the thing? Like why was that all these sounds or the rhythm? Like why was that the choice?
Right.
Like it feels like for me, like after I make it, it's like it's not mine anymore. It's just,
interesting.
at least that's how I look at it. It's like once it's done, like that's it. Like that's the idea. Like when I make this like blanket right here, this design, I don't feel. It's not that I'm not connected to it, but it's just kind of like, all right, that idea is done. As like I'm ready for the next thing. Kind of like it goes to the same like the episode last week when we were talking about the event itself feels the same, like me DJing in my bedroom to like me playing at a festival. I don't know, it just when I just think about it, I'm like, why was that idea? Like how did I come up with that? Like it doesn't feel like it's mine.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's odd.
I mean, it's obviously mine.
It's yours. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that it's odd because that makes it seem like it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I do find that very interesting because I feel like for me, I do have an attachment with the ideas. And interestingly enough, I've always felt very like thankful. Like I have a lot of gratitude for my ideas because they've stayed with me for years. Like
the stuff that you haven't done?
The stuff that I haven't done, like it's been with me and I still feel like it's mine to execute. It's almost like they've just been patient, and not all ideas are that way. But
some ideas feel like you need to do it now.
Yeah, but I feel like these ones, they've been letting me go through that journey and allowing me to be in the right place and space.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you said, some ideas doesn't have to be done now. Because I think, like for me, when I had an idea to have my own like podcast space, I've had the idea since I started my first podcast because I wanted to have like a dedicated space to just do it.
Right.
But it didn't happen until like 5 years later. So it's one of those things that like I've always thought about it and like, oh, it would be nice to have my own like space to do things. But I think it wasn't really the time to do it until it presented itself.
Interesting.
So I think ideas, obviously we want to execute it as soon as we can, but then you also don't want to rush it. And like, I don't know what the right balance is.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that. I was like, I feel like that's the most difficult part, is understanding the balance, because then you do hear stories of, oh, I've had that idea, and honestly,
and then somebody else executed it.
Like I wish my husband was here, Anthony, because he literally has these moments all the time.
Yeah.
Where he will literally have a design and show me, right? And then it just sits in the hard drive, and he's super talented too, but it'll sit in the hard drive, and then next thing he knows, he'll show me a screenshot of like a billboard in LA. And he'd be like, that is my fucking design. And I'm like, oh my God, it is like identical.
And that's the thing. Like we talked about idea being energy. Since he didn't execute it,
right,
the idea had to go somewhere.
And so, and I wonder though, like, I mean,
this is kind of like a woo-woo, like depending on how you believe, but what you believe. But I don't know. Like it's.
I'm laughing because I have one of my nicknames at work is Woo.
You are kind of woo.
Anywho, I got distracted.
But it's definitely on the more on the spiritual side of things.
Absolutely.
I mean, but it's so common though. Like you think of things, and you don't do anything about it, and then somebody else does it.
Yeah, and then now you're pissed.
Yeah.
because they did it and you didn't.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I always try to, whatever idea I get, I just kind of try to do it.
Right.
I do my best anyways. Yeah, because like I don't think really there is. Maybe intuitively, you just have to know if it feels right or not. Like, oh, do I need to execute this now, or should I wait a little bit longer and get a little bit more clarity on what this idea is?